And it's good to have you here, and good to be in your home, and to check a little about your experiences for life. First of all, if you would tell me briefly where you were born and a little about growing up, and either one can start.
I was born in Poasttown, Ohio, near Middletown, Ohio, on a farm, a big farm. I had 5 brothers and sisters, 4 sisters and 2 brothers, 3. There were 4 girls and 2 boys.
Okay.
So I had, and
So you were a farmer's daughter.
I'm a farmer's daughter.
A farmer's daughter. Me too. Good.
And you grew up all of your life in Ohio up until you went away to school.
Okay.
I went
in
to
different
high school,
locations, though.
In Mount Gilead, Ohio, and I went to college, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to. That's another question.
That's another question. We'll get to that. Okay. Cecil, what about you?
I was born in New Mexico. My mother's parents had moved from Texas to New Mexico, and that's where she met my father. And he had moved there from Arkansas to homestead a farm.
Okay.
The government was giving away land out there to the homesteaders. I was born in a little town of Estancia, New Mexico, which is southeast of Albuquerque, about 90 miles, out in really kind of a no man's land, I guess you'd say. And then my parents, being ministers, moved to Oklahoma, and I spent a lot of my younger years in Oklahoma, and where they pastored churches there, and then a short time in Colorado, where they pastored a church in Delta, Colorado, and then Hot Springs, Arkansas, where they pastored 2 churches there. And from there I was off to college, and that was my background as far as growing up.
So you were born a Southerner then, weren't you?
Yes, and have been a proud Southerner ever since.
Ever since. Have you ever lived back in New Mexico?
Have never
Okay.
lived in New Mexico since I was probably 1 year old.
Okay. And
He used to speak like a Southerner until I sort of...
You corrected that, did you? Okay.
Pretty well.
Pretty well most of the time, huh? Now, have you both been back to where you were born at some time in your life?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Mim's family had family reunion where everybody visited the farm home where she had grown up as a high school, when she was in high school. I have visited back in the community where I was born, but I never met anyone. I never spent much time there.
So it wasn't like friends or anything?
No, it wasn't like doing any really research. I just spent one day, I went to the library in the community and looked up some old historical family records and things, saw some things about my parents that were written in some early Frontier Day newspapers.
Oh my goodness. So there was some history there to look at.
There's a little bit of family history there to look at.
And Mim, how did you happen to come to Olivet?
Well, one Sunday night, the Olivet Quartet came to the church and sang. That was when Bob Condon and Wendell Wellman and Dale and Ray Moore were in the quartet. And I thought, that's wonderful. It was beautiful singing, and I always liked to hear men sing anyway. And I thought,
she thought all those good-looking boys, she thought everybody at Olivet was going to be like that.
Was going to be good looking.
so that was
kind of a draw.
That's why I was drawn to Olivet.
Okay. Now, did any of your brothers and sisters attend Olivet too, or just you?
No, I'm the only one. When my older sister went to Olivet College in Ohio.
Okay.
But I guess it was a church college too.
I think so,
like
yes.
Olivet. It wasn't as good as Olivet.
Oh, good.
Well, I shouldn't say that maybe.
That's okay. And Cecil, what brought you to Olivet?
Well, my parents were on an evangelistic summer tour where they were going to be holding evangelistic services in Illinois and Indiana in the summer of 1940.
Oh.
Summer of 1940. And they asked me if I would drive the car for them that summer. And I had been attending, I had gotten a scholarship to play basketball at Oklahoma Baptist University.
Oh.
And so the previous year I had been at Oklahoma Baptist University, and my parents, I imagine, were not too happy about that.
They'd have rather had you at an Olivet or Nazarene College.
They wanted me at a Nazarene College, and so they asked me that summer if I would drive, and I didn't have a job. Jobs were hard to get for kids, and so I drove, and we came up to Olivet, and that was we came to Kankakee, and that was the summer that Olivet moved from the old school to the new campus.
Okay.
They were in the process of that moving, and my dad asked me, said, why don't you go in and talk to Dr. Parrott, that would be Dr. Parrott Sr., and see if there isn't some kind of a job that you could get to help pay your way through school. Because I told him, I said, Dad, you don't have any money to pay tuition, and I'm getting a free ride down at this Baptist school to play basketball. So I don't think I should change schools unless I can get some kind of work or something that will help pay the tuition and room and board and that sort of thing. So I went in and talked to Dr. Parrott, and of course they had an intramural basketball program and sports program in several sports. And he asked me, he said, do you think you could organize and run our intramural athletic program? And I said, well, I haven't thought much about it, but yeah, I think I could. So he ended up giving me room and board and tuition, and in return, I was, I guess I was officially called a student athletic director. And so my job was to organize and schedule all of the sports activity, intramural sports activity for the students.
For the different student groups.
And so that's how I came. My brother was already attending. My brother Hank was already attending the school.
And I think you had two other brothers?
I had two other brothers.
How many came to Olivet?
Neither of those brothers went to college
Okay.
because of financial problems primarily.
Yeah.
And so my brother Hank and I were the only two brothers that attended Olivet.
Okay. And you did that sports thing all 3 years then while you were there?
I did that. I did the sports thing, and the following year they hired, I wish I could think of his name right now, but they hired a faculty member to run the program, and I assisted him. But that first year I ran it more or less on my own.
Do you have, either one of you have any idea what the cost of tuition, room and board back then would have been?
I have no idea.
My guess would be that room, board, and tuition all thrown together might be $500 a year. But I don't really know. Don't remember.
You weren't getting paid $10 an hour for that job?
No.
Okay. Well, and since you were both at Olivet, I'm guessing that's where you met.
Yes.
Mim, do you remember the first time you saw Cecil? Or do you
No,
remember?
I don't remember.
Don't remember that, but do you remember how you met?
I
don't remember.
I remember the first time we met.
You do remember,
Yes.
okay.
School had not yet started. Students were beginning to arrive. And because my brother had been there the year before, he knew practically all the students. And we were out on the campus, and we saw this beautiful girl coming, and I said, who is this girl coming? She was coming over to talk to us. And my brother said, well, that's Miriam Gregg. And I don't remember what I said after that, but I thought to myself, wow, that's really a pretty girl.
Sparked an interest.
But my brother said, she's practically engaged to Fred Chalfant, so don't get any ideas.
So you knew Fred Chalfant pretty well. Huh?
Yes, I did.
Well, evidently that must have ended with Fred Chalfant, and you ended up with her. I can see
Fred
that.
Chalfant was drafted that summer. He was drafted. That's when the military draft was started in the U.S. prior to World War II. And he was drafted, and I guess absence makes the heart grow fonder of somebody else.
Well, he worked in Peoria for a long time before he had to go to the war.
Yeah,
We were already,
but he was eventually.
yeah, but we were already going together before
Oh, yeah.
he left.
Now, were you married while you were students or after?
No, we were married in 42 after I graduated.
After you graduated.
Miriam graduated in 41.
Okay. And so then, as I understand, you stayed in the community, and were your children born in Bourbonnais while you lived there?
Both children were born in Kankakee at St. Mary's Hospital.
Both born at St. Mary's. Of course, they wouldn't have been born at Riverside. That was before Riverside. That would have been. And so on. Wow. Very good. And what year were you married? 42. What was the date?
42, August 22nd.
August 22nd. So 42, I'm trying to calculate the years.
Or August 16th. Your birthday's the 22nd.
Yeah.
Oh.
September 22nd is her birthday. August 16th, I believe, is our anniversary.
And so you have been married, I'm trying to put the years together, 62 years this year.
62 years this summer.
Oh, that's quite a few years. And
She bears all the scars of it.
okay. You're heading for 70.
Yeah.
Can I come to your 75th wedding
Oh,
anniversary
that'd
party?
be great.
Okay. I have been to one 75th wedding anniversary party, but not mine.